For decades, brands like Bugatti and Ferrari have ruled the automotive world through something more powerful than horsepower: control. Control over who buys their cars, who repairs them, and how much every single part costs. It was an airtight system, and it worked beautifully. Until a British YouTuber with a wrench decided he wasn't going to play by their rules. Matt Armstrong didn't just challenge the supercar industry. He exposed it. And somewhere along the way, he caught the attention of one of the most powerful men on the planet. Before Matt Armstrong became a thorn in the side of multi-billion-dollar automotive brands, he was doing something else entirely, throwing himself off ramps on a BMX bike. He wasn't a casual rider either. Matt competed at a serious level, chasing the kind of adrenaline that most people avoid at all costs. Speed, precision, the constant edge of danger, that was his world. Then, in 2013, during the qualification round of the BMX World Championships, he dislocated his shoulder. It wasn't the end of the road, but it was the beginning of a detour. Matt had always been a petrol head. Cars had been a quiet passion running alongside his riding career for years. With his BMX days winding down, he let that passion take over. He started small, filming car content and posting it to YouTube. His first real breakthrough came when he decided to rebuild his girlfriend Hannah's crashed Audi TT on camera. It wasn't glamorous, but it was honest, and people responded to it. Viewers could see a guy genuinely figuring things out in real time, making mistakes, and pushing through them. That authenticity built him an audience. Over the following years, Matt worked his way up through the automotive food chain: Audis, Maseratis, Mercedes-Benzes, each project more ambitious than the last. By the early 2020s, he had crossed into hypercar territory. And that's when the supercar world started paying attention. In October 2025, a social media personality named Alex Gonzalez crashed his Bugatti Chiron Per Sport, one of only 60 ever made, with an original price tag somewhere between $3.6 million and $5 million. Alex had taken the car to the Bugatti factory in Molsheim to assess the damage. The verdict was brutal: deployed airbags, cracked carbon fiber, a destroyed front end, and a damaged transmission. Bugatti quoted him close to $2 million for the repair. He passed. Instead, he picked up the phone and called Matt Armstrong. Matt bought the written-off Chiron at auction for just over $1.5 million. For most people, that sentence alone would be the most terrifying financial decision imaginable. For Matt, it was content. The problem was immediate and significant. Bugatti refused to sell him replacement parts. The brand operates a strictly controlled ecosystem. Only company-trained mechanics at authorized facilities are permitted to repair their cars. Matt wasn't one of them, and Bugatti wasn't about to make an exception. They made their position clear early by locking the car's VIN, effectively cutting off any path to officially sanctioned parts. Matt's response was to do it anyway. He documented everything on YouTube as he worked through one of the most technically demanding rebuilds of his career. The car's damaged transmission meant the whole vehicle needed to be separated, front from rear, before any meaningful repair could happen. Bugatti's own CEO, Mate Rimac, had previously stated that this procedure could only be safely performed at the factory in France. Matt did it in his garage on camera with no proprietary tools. When the car started, the automotive community lost its mind. Bugatti so didn't stay quiet for long. Mate Rimac came out publicly and methodically, disputing several of the claims circulating online about the Chiron rebuild. First, he addressed parts costs that had been widely exaggerated in media coverage. The car's headlights, frequently reported as costing $150,000 to replace, were actually priced at $50,000 according to Rimac, still eye-watering, but a $100,000 difference from the figure that had gone viral. Then Rimac went after the substance of Matt's rebuild. His core concern was safety. Matt had sourced airbag components from an Audi A3, a car worth roughly $15,000, after finding that they physically fit the Chiron's housing. Rimac argued that physical compatibility and functional safety are two entirely different things. The ergonomics and crash dynamics of a Bugatti Chiron are completely unlike those of an Audi A3, meaning airbags calibrated for one vehicle cannot reliably protect occupants in another. To illustrate the point, Rimac shared footage of a Bugatti Tourbillon airbag deploying. showing the precise choreography engineered into each component and what happens when that calibration is off. He also pushed back on Matt's suggestion that large sections of the Chiron could be recreated using a 3D printer. Rimac acknowledged that Bugatti does use 3D printing in its manufacturing process, but with specialized aerospace-grade materials and under tightly controlled conditions. The idea that a CAD file and a commercial 3D printer could replicate those components, he argued, fundamentally misunderstood the engineering involved. A 3D printed Bugatti gearbox, he said plainly, was not a safe object. Rimac's position was reasonable on its technical merits. But he was also running a company whose entire pricing model depends on the perception that these cars exist beyond the reach of ordinary repair. Matt had already proven that at least some of that mystique was manufactured. The debate was no longer just about one crash Chiron. It was about who gets to decide what's possible. Matt acknowledged that without Bugatti's cooperation, he couldn't guarantee the rebuild would meet the original factory standard. But he was transparent about that from the start, and he kept building. Bugatti wasn't the only brand Matt had taken on. In 2023, he purchased a crashed Ferrari F430 with a gated manual gearbox for £60,000. The F430 is a car with a devoted following among purists, and Ferrari's repair policies are just as restrictive as Bugatti's. Official parts go to official technicians. Full stop. Matt rebuilt the engine alongside his mechanic and his father, sourcing original spares through a specialist parts supplier called Scuderia, and fitting a Capristo exhaust system in the process. Ferrari didn't intervene. They didn't need to. The unspoken message from brands like Ferrari has always been that independent rebuilds simply don't count. They exist outside the authorized world, and therefore outside their concern. But the F430 rebuild drew attention from an unexpected direction. Donald Trump, before his return to the presidency, was well known as a car enthusiast. He reportedly owned a cherry red Ferrari F430 coupe, the same model Matt had just rebuilt from the ground up on YouTube. People close to the president reportedly noted that Trump was following Matt's work with genuine interest. For a man who built his brand on disrupting established systems and rejecting the conventional gatekeepers of power and wealth, Matt Armstrong's approach clearly resonated. It's easy to frame Matt Armstrong's story as a simple David versus Goliath narrative. Scrappy YouTuber outwits billion-dollar corporations. But the reality is more nuanced, and the stakes are real on both sides. Bugatti and Ferrari aren't wrong to be concerned about unauthorized rebuilds. The engineering in a Chiron or an F430 is genuinely complex. The safety systems are precisely calibrated, and a botched repair on a car capable of these speeds is a serious danger. Mate Rimac's safety concerns deserve to be taken seriously, not dismissed as corporate posturing. At the same time, Matt has exposed something the supercar industry would prefer to keep quiet. A significant portion of what you're paying for when you buy one of these cars is controlled access. The mythology of the unrepairable hypercar, the idea that only a handful of specialists in the world can touch these machines, is partly engineering reality and partly brand strategy. Matt has shown that the line between the two isn't always where the manufacturers claim it is. Every car Matt rebuilds costs the brand some control over the narrative. Every video showing a Bugatti starting after an independent rebuild chips away at the idea that these vehicles are beyond the reach of anyone outside the official ecosystem. And with nearly 7 million YouTube subscribers watching each step of the process, the audience for that dismantling is enormous. Whether that ultimately tanks the value of these cars, as some have speculated, remains to be seen. Exclusivity is partly psychological, and perception is durable. But what Matt Armstrong has already done is force these brands into a conversation they spent decades avoiding. They'd rather sell you a myth. Matt keeps showing you the bolts.